I can't believe it's taken me this long to get around to doing this job. And it has been a long wait. Hi, Tony here, welcome back to the channel, and I'm really pleased to be able to bring you the video on the custom painted tank. Firstly, a big thank you to my subscribers and my followers that have been following the journey with the Street Twin modifications over the last couple of years. And anybody that has been following will know that I've made quite a few changes to the Street Twin and videoed the installation of those parts to bring to you, to hopefully hope other Street Twin owners out there that are doing what I'm doing and are just putting the bike together in their garage. One of the things that I hadn't got around to doing, which I've been wanting to do for a while, is getting the tank painted and changing that colour scheme. Not that there's anything wrong with the original cranberry red, it's a lovely colour and the paint job is a really nice finish. I've never really liked the graphics. That big white stripe on the side of the tank has always kind of jarred my eye a little bit, and I just wanted to get around to getting that tank painted. So when it comes down to a big job like painting the tank, I sat down and had to think about how I wanted to do this. Now, there's obviously a few options. Option one, if you've got the skills and you've got the equipment, you can obviously take the tank off and prepare it and paint it yourself. Chances are though, if you have got that skill and you have got those tools, you're not going to be watching this video. Option two. Now I suppose option two is to give the bike to somebody, let them take everything off, prep the tank, paint the tank, put it all back together and bring it back. Now, if you're short of space or you're not particularly mechanically minded and don't want to take the tank off, that's potentially a good option. Option three. Option three is obviously to take the tank off yourself and then get that tank somewhere where that can be painted, and that's what I ended up doing. And then all I had to do was sort out who it is that I wanted to paint it. And there was one name that sprung to mind that's well known in the industry. They've done a lot of paint work for manufacturers such as Triumph, BMW, Suzuki, Harley Davidson. And that was for me to get in contact with 8 Ball Customs. So I picked up the phone and they took me through the options that I have, and they've got a full range of options available for you depending on how much time you've got and how much money you want to spend. You get the option of handing the tank over to them and saying, basically, I want this colour, or you can hand the tank to them if you're feeling brave and say whatever you fancy. Or you can do as I did, and I sat down and worked out some designs that I liked, emailed those up to the guys, and then between us we were able to kind of whittle it down to a final design. They were able to advise on how easy that design would be able to accomplish, and they can pretty much do anything, but obviously the more complex the paint job, the more colours, the different paints, the more expensive it's going to be. So you can have a really good conversation and work together with them. So first thing to do obviously is to get the tank off. Now I have already covered this in my X-Pipe video, but I'm not going to send you away to watch that. This is how you take the tank off. Okay, so once you've done that bolt, just pull the rod out, and there you can see we've got access to that. First thing to undo, there is a high pressure fuel line here which just connects to this little hose. Just slide back that plastic clip and you see there's a little button here. There's one on either side of those. Compress those buttons, that will just lift off. Just up under here there's 2 white electrical connectors. They're actually clipped onto the frame rail with a little tab here, so you have to just lift those off the tab, and then you can pull those down and you can just disconnect those. They're the 2 electrical connectors, completely different, so when it comes to putting the tank back on, you can't confuse those and get those the wrong way around. And you've got a vent hose on the left hand side which you just need to pull off of the prong, and then the tank can be moved out of the way. Once the tank is off, get it onto a bench. I've just got it on the towel here for protection, and here you can see the sender unit and fuel gauge and all the electronics in here which need to come out, and it's quite simply 9 8mm bolts. Once these are all undone, this is the fun part. You've got to lift this out, and it's never easy to do. It's got to come out. There's a lot of stuff that's in there. If you tip it to one side, you can get the bulk of it out. There you go. You will need to undo this clip and just take this little P-clip off here so that you can free up that cabling, because the fuel level sensor is down inside the tank You've then just got to manhandle it a little bit to be able to, I'll pull that hose out of the way, get this fuel filter out of the hole. This part can be safely set to one side. Then all that's left to do is to undo the sensor that's in here. There's a little release tab here, so when you put your hand inside you can just click that release tab and that will slide off, and you've got these two locating pins that sit in a bar that's on the inside of the tank, and then it will slide straight back on when you come to put it all back together. I can now get the last dregs of fuel out of the tank, and then it's ready to go off to 8 ball. Whilst I was there, I grabbed the opportunity to have a chat, and I started by asking just how 8 Ball Customs got started.
It was started by my dad, Joe. We lived on a farm, in a farmhouse, and had a garage at the side. He used to drive lorries, actually, and then all of a sudden decided he was going to convert the garage into a paint shop. He took on a salesman who then managed to get in touch with Triumph and varying different manufacturers, and it kind of grew from this little thing at the side of the house into the space that we've got now. We've probably done the most amount of projects with Triumph UK. We've also done worldwide projects with them as well. We've then gone on to do things with BMW and most recently Suzuki. They can range from 25 bikes at a time, limited edition runs, up to, with BMW it was 100 bikes per run. So it can really range from small numbers to large numbers, and worldwide projects up to 500 bikes plus at a time. There's varying different ways of doing it with private customers. We can collect the bike for them and deliver it back to them and discuss all their ideas over the phone via email. But usually the best way for it to run is for people to come in and see what we're about, have a coffee with us, discuss the designs, look at the paintworks here, leave the bike with us, we'll do it and get it back to them, or they'll come to us completed, ready to ride. There's different sides to it, so some people will come in with an exact specific design that they're looking for, which is fine, we can do. We have to sometimes be conscious of the contours of the tanks, so sometimes it's good to be open-minded about it, but other times people come in and say just do whatever you want on it, which is, for the guys outside, that's their favourite thing to do.
One of our strip fitters will remove the tank, take all the guts out, then we'll mask out where the filler cap goes so no paint gets inside. We'll remove the decals, then all the glue's removed, and then it'll be feathered out depending whether the stickers are lacquered in or not. And then it'll be fully flattered, scotched and ready for paint. So the first colour laid down is the predominant colour, and normally the easiest colour to cover on the existing paint. In your case it was the grey, so we based the whole tank up in grey, lacquered it, and then it'd go back into the prep room, re-prepped, and then the next colour would be put onto it, so that was the black, and then it's re-lacquered, and then the 3 put onto it, that's lacquered, and then the Triumph badge was put on, then it's re-lacquered again to make sure all the edges are smooth and there's no steps in the colours. It's flattened down again and then re-lacquered. So you're getting on for over 20 coats of paint on, you'd be looking about 3 or 4 days if you was working on that solid.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of different aspects to the business. There's the paintwork side, which is the private work, manufacturers and dealership, but we've also recently started doing insurance repairs. That's on bikes and cars, which we've got all of the equipment, frame alignment, that sort of thing to be able to carry out repairs, but it also gives people the opportunity to switch their paintwork up at the time of the repair. That's something that's good to consider as well. So if you're interested in getting any paintwork done or finding any more information about, the best thing to do is get in contact with us and we can discuss any ideas that you've got or point you in the right direction.
It was a couple of weeks after I dropped the tank off and I got a call from Lucy to say that the tank was completed and was ready for collection. So I jumped in the car, hot-footed it up to 8 Ball, picked the tank up, got it back home. Obviously refitting the tank is the exact reverse of the removal process, and I didn't film that because that would obviously give away the paint job and I couldn't then do a dramatic reveal like this. So here's the paint job in all its glory, and I have to say I've been absolutely blown away. I didn't want to go with anything too dramatic. I know that I wanted to get some blues in there because that's a colour that I really like, and from the poorly put together photoshopped ideas that I had that I sent up to the guys, they interpreted it really well, and I think the result looks fantastic. The quality of the paint finish is outstanding. I went for a slightly different font on the Triumph logo just for something different. I think that worked, and I'm just blown away with the way this looks. There's still a few bits to do on the bike and they'll be coming up very soon. The exhaust system's going to change, there's going to be a change to the wheels and probably the tyres and a few little bits and pieces, so I'm hoping to get all of those bits done so that I can have the bike ready and done for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride at the end of September. So if you are thinking about changing the paint job on your Street Twin or on any of your modern classics or on any bike, then I would highly recommend having a chat to the people at 8 Ball. From the initial process of speaking to them, they were helpful all the way through, and the quality of the workmanship is great. It's a fantastic service they offer, so if you are interested, there's a link in the top corner here. I'll put a link in the description for you as well, so you can just make contact, talk through some ideas and take it on from there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I'm really chuffed with that tank on the bike, and I can't wait now to get the other bits on and get it to what I think will be its final look. What should I do next? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you've got any comments or questions, you know where to put them down below, and all that leaves me to say is until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.